The mood around IBROX is intense right now. And it's not just about what's happening on the pitch. The name dominating every conversation among Rangers fans, pundits, and scouts alike is Hamza Igamane. The Moroccan striker lit up the Scottish Premiership last season with his goals, his relentless energy, and his clear potential to reach even higher levels. But now the spotlight on him is more glaring than ever. Clubs across Europe are circling, speculation is growing louder by the day, and Rangers find themselves at a massive crossroads in this summer's transfer window. Hamza's impact in his debut season was impossible to ignore. At just 22 years old, he quickly became the club's standout performer, bagging 16 goals and chipping in with 3 assists across all competitions. For a player new to Scottish football, those are serious numbers, but it wasn't just about the stats. Igamane brought life to the Rangers attack. He stretched defenses, pressed tirelessly, and played with a spark that fans at IBROX haven't seen in some time. It was clear from the early games that he had something special, and now that raw talent is attracting attention from beyond Glasgow. Initially, it was Premier League clubs showing the strongest interest. Everton, Brentford, and West Ham were all seriously monitoring his situation earlier in the summer. But as things developed, their enthusiasm cooled, perhaps due to Rangers' firm stance on his valuation. Enter Lille. The French side have emerged as frontrunners in the race to sign Hamza. They've made their interest known, but even they have stopped short of matching the asking price. Rangers have made it crystal clear, if you want Igamane, you're going to have to put up between 15 and 20 million pounds. Nothing less will even be considered. That figure isn't just a random number. It's a reflection of how vital he's become to this team and also the club's broader transfer strategy. Behind the scenes, there's been a major shift. New board members, a new head coach in Russell Martin, and a renewed focus on reshaping the squad. The backing from 49ers Enterprises has been significant, demonstrated by ambitious moves like the attempt to bring in Jasurin Raksake from Crystal Palace on a loan-to-buy deal worth up to £20 million. But Rangers know that to balance the books and keep that level of ambition sustainable, they may have to sell. And if someone is going to be sold, few players command the value that Hamza does. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hamza's future might not just depend on money, it might hinge on something much bigger: Champions League football. That's the trump card. Because for a young striker with huge ambitions, playing on the biggest stage in European football is a dream. And if Rangers can offer him that platform, it might just be enough to convince him to stay. The recent 31 aggregate win over Panathinaikos was a massive step in that direction. The confidence in the squad is growing, and qualification for the group stages feels within reach. But if they fall short, the equation changes completely. From Hamza's perspective, the timing couldn't be more crucial. This is a player who knows he has options. He's proven he can perform under pressure. He's shown he can adapt to a new league and thrive. He has every reason to feel ready for the next step, whether that's another season in Glasgow or a move to one of Europe's top 5 leagues. And you can be sure that his representatives are weighing up every possibility. Stay and fight for glory in Scotland and Europe, or take the leap now and cash in on his momentum? That's the question hanging in the air, and the answer might not come until the very end of the window. Meanwhile, the situation on the pitch isn't exactly calming the waters. The recent draw with Motherwell felt like a gut punch for many fans. It wasn't just the result, it was the manner of it. A flat performance, a lack of cutting edge, and the same old frustrations bubbling back to the surface. Supporters have seen this script too many times before. New coach, new promises, same letdowns. And while it's still early days in the Russell Martin era, patience is already wearing thin. His post-match comments were telling. He didn't sugarcoat it. He called out the mentality of the squad, questioned the egos in the dressing room, and made it clear that things need to change, and fast. Kieran Dowell, who spoke to the press after the match, admitted that some hard truths had to be faced. He acknowledged the cycle of disappointment and recognized that the weight of past failures still hangs heavy over too many players in the squad. The mental fragility that's plagued Rangers in recent seasons hasn't disappeared overnight. And that more than any tactical tweak or formation change is what Russell Martin has to address if he's going to succeed. Because at a club like Rangers, talent isn't enough. Character matters, mentality matters, the pressure is constant, and only those who embrace it will thrive. And that brings us back to Hamza. Because as much as the club wants to keep him, and as much as he may still be open to staying, the question of whether he fits into Martin's vision goes beyond goals and assists. Does he have the mentality, the drive, the hunger to lead this team back to where it wants to be? So far, the signs are promising, but football is ruthless and decisions have to be made quickly. If a club does come in with the full asking price, Rangers will have a decision to make. And if Champions League football is off the table, holding on to their prized asset becomes even harder. What's clear is that these next few weeks will be absolutely decisive for Hamza Igamane, for Russell Martin, and for Rangers as a whole. The window is wide open, the stakes are high, and the noise around IBROX is only getting louder. The club has stood firm so far, but every day that passes without clarity brings more tension. Whether Hamza stays or goes, one thing is certain: his name will define this transfer window for Rangers. And how they handle this situation might just shape their entire season. As the speculation around Hamza Igamane's future swirls, the intensity of everything else at Rangers seems to rise in tandem. It's not just about one player anymore. It's about what he represents. He's become the symbol of where Rangers are trying to go, but also a reminder of how far they still have to climb. While the forward continues to train, play, and maintain, focus, the world around him keeps spinning. Every strong performance from now until the end of the window could be his last in a Rangers shirt. Every goal he scores could be adding $1 million more to his price tag. And every Champions League match becomes more than just a result. It becomes a negotiation tool. Inside the club, the atmosphere is shifting. Russell Martin has made it clear that the time for excuses is over. The squad is under the microscope, not just in terms of quality, but mentality. He wants players who are ready to put their bodies on the line, fight for every inch, and carry the weight of a club that demands winning. That's not negotiable anymore. And that's why the summer rebuild wasn't just about plugging holes. It was about cutting out the rot, injecting new energy, and building something that could last. Mikey Moore arrived from Spurs, a highly rated young winger with raw ability and hunger. Oliver Ammon followed, bringing creativity and flair to the flanks. These aren't just transfers, they're signals. Rangers are not playing around. They've seen what happens when you stand still. The club knows the danger of recycling the same players, the same attitudes, and expecting a different outcome. That's why Russell Martin is being backed now, not just financially, but philosophically. There's a belief in his vision, but with belief comes pressure. He needs to deliver, and quickly. The draw against Motherwell was a blow, not because a point is catastrophic, but because it felt all too familiar. A game where Rangers started well, failed to kill it off, lost control, and paid the price. These are the patterns that have haunted the club for years. Changing them takes more than new faces. It takes leadership, courage, and a mentality shift. For Kieran Dowell, that realization seems to be sinking in. His comments after the match were honest, maybe even a little raw. He didn't hide behind cliches. He acknowledged the failures. He pointed out that the players have had more than enough chances to prove themselves. And more importantly, he accepted that the pressure isn't unfair, it's deserved. When you wear the Rangers badge, you're not just another footballer. You carry history, expectation, and scrutiny every single week. And Dowell's words about looking in the mirror felt like a message to the whole dressing room, that if you can't handle the heat, you won't survive here. It's moments like this that test a squad, and it's in those moments where the leaders reveal themselves. Not always the ones wearing the armband, but the ones who show up when the team needs direction. Right now, Russell Martin is trying to find those players. He's made it clear. If you got the right mentality, you stay. If you don't, you're gone. That clarity is refreshing in a club that's too often clouded in ambiguity. And it puts players like Hamza in a fascinating position. He has the talent. That's beyond debate. But is he one of the pillars this rebuild will stand on, or is he a valuable asset whose sale could fund the next phase? There's also the question of his personal ambition. Players like Hamza don't stay under the radar for long. His performances last season caught the eye, but his potential is what's causing clubs across Europe to keep watching. At 22, he has time on his side. He doesn't need to rush, but football doesn't wait either. If Lille or another club decides to meet Rangers' valuation in the final week of the window, what happens then? Does Hamza push for the move? Does he stay loyal to the project in Glasgow? Or does the lure of continental football elsewhere become too strong to ignore? For now, his focus seems to be locked in. He's playing with purpose. His body language doesn't suggest a player distracted by rumors. If anything, he looks sharper, more determined, as if the noise around him is fueling his fire rather than draining it. That's a good sign for Rangers, but also a dangerous one, because the better he plays, the harder it becomes to keep him, especially if the club falls short in their Champions League push. That is the domino. If Rangers make the group stage, they buy themselves time, money, and prestige. If they don't, the financial and sporting gap widens. And when a club like Lille is hovering ready to offer both opportunity and a new stage, that gap could be fatal. Behind the scenes, 49ers enterprises are watching closely. Their backing has given Rangers breathing room, but it's not infinite. The idea is to grow the club, sustainably push for domestic dominance, and return to the latter stages of European competitions. But that plan relies on execution, both on and off the pitch. Selling Hamza would hurt, no doubt. But if it allows Russell Martin to sign 3 or 4 key pieces that reshape the squad, would it be worth it? These are the brutal decisions facing the football board right now. And the longer the window goes on, the tighter the rope gets. Meanwhile, the fans are caught in the middle. They see the promise. They see a team that could finally turn a corner. But they've been burned too many times before. They don't want to hear about potential anymore. They want results. They want silverware. And they want players who bleed for the shirt. If Hamza shows he's that kind of player, not just for now, but for the fight ahead, he'll earn their full backing. But if he leaves especially late in the window, the reaction could be fierce. Not because they blame him, but because they've seen stars leave before and watched the club scramble to replace them. Russell Martin knows this too. That's why he's not sugarcoating anything. His post-match interview wasn't designed to protect feelings. It was a challenge. He called out egos. He questioned hunger. He made it clear that technical ability isn't enough here. And that's a message aimed at every player. Not just the ones in the starting 11, but those knocking on the door. That's the standard now. It's no longer about who used to be good or who has potential. It's about who can deliver. Today, tomorrow, and deep into the season when the pressure is at its highest. For Hamza, this is the defining stretch. He can silence the rumors with his boots. He can prove to everyone inside the club and out that he's not just a rising star, he's a leader. Or he can take the next step in his journey elsewhere. Either path is valid. But the timing, the context, and the stakes make this one of the most important decisions Rangers have faced in recent years. The club has a vision, the fans have expectations, the manager has a plan, and somewhere in the middle of all that, Hamza Igamane has a choice. As it stands, the Champions League dream is still alive. The performance against Panathinaikos showed what this team is capable of when it clicks. There's belief building, but belief alone isn't enough. And the next few games will tell us everything, not just about Hamza, but about this squad, this manager, and this project. Because in football, momentum is everything. One big win can change a season. One big sale can reshape a club. And one key decision in August can define what happens in May. There's a storm building around IBROX. Whether it ends in celebration or frustration, only time will tell. But for now, all eyes remain on Hamza Igamane. His goals lit the fire. What happens next might just determine how long it burns. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Rumors have begun to swirl around IBROX as reports emerge suggesting that Carlos Vela, the seasoned Mexican forward, may be on his way to join Rangers. While there has been no official statement from the club or players' representatives, whispers within the footballing community have only intensified in recent days. Sources close to the matter suggest that Vela has already been spotted in Glasgow, fueling speculation that a deal could be imminent. Vela, who has enjoyed success in La Liga, a major league soccer, has long been linked with a move to European football once more, and Rangers could provide the perfect platform for a late career flourish. Fans have taken to social media to express both excitement and cautious optimism, with some questioning whether this could be the marquee signing manager Philippe Clement needs to bolster the attack ahead of a crucial domestic campaign. While some insiders hint that negotiations have reached an advanced stage, others maintain it's merely exploratory at this point. The arrival of a player of Vela's caliber would undoubtedly send a strong message to title rival Celtic and could redefine Rangers' offensive threat. The club has been tight-lipped, but the buzz around this potential transfer continues to grow by the hour across Scottish football circles. There is growing belief among those in the know that Vela's potential move to Rangers might not just be smoke without fire. The 35-year-old, who currently plays for LAFC in the MLS, is reportedly keen to return to Europe, where he previously dazzled during spells at Real Sociedad and Arsenal. His contract situation in the United States has led many to believe that a free transfer or a low-cost deal could be in play, making the opportunity attractive for Rangers financially. The idea of Vela linking up with the current Rangers squad, which already boasts a mix of youth and experience, has fans and analysts alike salivating at the possibilities. Given his vision, technical prowess, and proven goal-scoring ability, Vela could easily become a focal point of the Gers attack. Some even believe his presence could help elevate the performances of younger players like Rabbi Matondo and Ross McCausland. While some caution that Vela's age might be a limiting factor, others point to his consistent performances in the MLS as evidence he still has plenty to offer. Rangers supporters will be watching developments closely, as each new rumor adds fuel to what could be one of the most intriguing transfer sagas of the summer window. Adding to the intrigue, certain sources claim that Vela has already held initial discussions with Rangers management regarding his potential role at the club. It is believed that these talks have revolved not only around football matters, but also about lifestyle adjustments, as Glasgow would represent a stark contrast to Los Angeles. Yet those close to Vela say he is enticed by the challenge and the opportunity to play in one of Europe's most passionate football environments. The lure of old firm derbies, European competition, and playing under the lights at IBROX appears to be a key factor in his consideration. Meanwhile, Rangers top brass reportedly see this as more than just a signing. It's a statement of intent. Bringing in a globally recognized talent like Vela could provide a commercial boost as well, opening up interest from international markets, particularly in North and Central America. This could be part of a broader strategy to grow the club's global brand, something that has been quietly underway in recent years. If these murmurs bear fruit, the move might not only impact Rangers' fortunes on the pitch, but also their presence off it, elevating them onto a new commercial stage. As of now, fans and pundits remain poised. Despite no official confirmation, Vela's possible arrival has already begun to affect the club's dynamics internally. Training sessions this week have reportedly had a buzz about them, with players aware that a figure of his stature could soon be walking into the dressing room. Some reports even suggest that existing forwards at the club have stepped up their intensity, eager to impress in the wake of the speculation. Rangers coaching staff are said to be quietly preparing tactical models that would accommodate Vela's skill set should the move materialize. This proactive approach only adds further weight to the rumor. Furthermore, members of the Mexican press have noted that Vela's recent interviews have hinted at a European return, though he stopped short of naming any specific club. He did, however, express admiration for clubs with strong traditions and passionate support, which many took as a veiled nod toward Rangers. While some skeptics question whether the Scottish Premiership can still attract players of his caliber, the evolving nature of the league, coupled with the exposure Rangers offer in European competitions, might just be enough to sway him. Until pen meets paper, nothing is certain, but the signs are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Looking ahead, the possible inclusion of Vela in the Rangers setup could reshape the team's approach for the coming season. With Champions League qualification on the line and fierce domestic competition expected, the addition of a versatile, intelligent forward could prove to be a masterstroke. Vela's ability to operate both as a winger and a second striker fits well with Clement's flexible attacking philosophy. His calmness on the ball, creativity in tight spaces, and sharp finishing could be the difference in matches where Rangers have historically struggled to break down deep-lying defenses. Beyond the tactical implications, Vela's experience on big stages, from the World Cup to Copa del Rey finals, would bring invaluable leadership to a squad still finding its identity. The narrative remains speculative for now, but the momentum behind it grows stronger with each passing day. If confirmed, this transfer would likely go down as one of the most sensational arrivals at IBROX in recent memory. For now, the city waits, the fans wonder, and the rumor mill spins ever faster, with the name Carlos Vela echoing louder through the blue half of Glasgow. Whether fantasy or fact, something is clearly stirring in Govan, and everyone's watching closely. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.